I use a lot of fragrances throughout the course of a month, but my current favorite fragrances are the ones I'm enjoying a bit more than the rest. Hi, so I use a lot of fragrances throughout the course of a month and usually multiple fragrances throughout the course of a day. I use one fragrance right after my morning shower and then another fragrance after my morning workout. And then depending on mood and whatever I sprayed on after the gym, usually another one in the afternoon. And sometimes, but definitely not always, a fourth in the evening. I don't really plan what I'll be wearing. I usually go by a combination of mood and occasion. I'm gonna share a few of the ones I've been reaching for a bit more than the rest, and also one of my sort of staples when it comes to fragrance layering. Before we begin, if you absolutely love smelling good, then please do consider subscribing, and I would highly appreciate a like on this video. Thank you. So Prada L'homme, yeah, this is so good. So Prada L'homme has always, at least to me, been a fragrance that I reach for when I want a proper dose of powderiness, but a proper dose of powderiness that's not too heavy or too deep. Prada L'homme is basically powdery and spicy with a bit of freshness and a bit of woodiness. And I absolutely love using this on its own, but lately I've been pairing it with one of my absolute staples when it comes to layering. This is Glossier You. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing this thing correctly, Glossier. And this, at least to me, definitely has Prada L'homme vibes, but its powderiness is a bit different. Glossier You is powdery, it's definitely quite musky. It has a bit of spiciness, a bit of florals, and a slight hint of something that is sort of ambery. And these two together is a fantastic combo. Now, Glossier You will be something you will either absolutely love or dislike. And I know some feel that this is quite sort of sharp, but I think it adds this soft and quite sort of a sexy powderiness to pretty much whatever I layer it with. This is my second bottle of Glossier You and I'm almost halfway through this bottle. I absolutely love using this for layering. So I pretty much always have a YSL in my rotation. They are just so versatile, so easy to wear, very mass appealing, and quite a few of them are compliment gears. Now I usually reach for Y Le Parfum, Y Myself and Y EDP Intense, but lately I've been reaching for Y Le Parfum. Y Le Parfum has that sort of a classic Y mix of aromatic and citrusy freshness. It has a fantastic dose of lavender, but where this one sort of goes in a slightly different direction is in its fruitiness. So this, yeah, classic YSL mix of sort of aromatic and citrusy freshness, and pretty much straight away you get that sort of a fruitiness, and I also get a slight hint of sweetness. So yeah, you probably already know everything about this fragrance. I'm not gonna say that much more about it. It's incredibly easy to wear, it smells really good, and I enjoy it. So pretty much since I bought 1 Million Royal, 1 Million Royal has been my sort of a go-to from within this line. And as you can see, I really enjoy 1 Million Royal, but I've been giving it at least a bit of a break lately and going back to the one that used to be my sort of a go-to within this line. This is 1 Million Parfum. And as you can see, this is one of my favorites as well. So pretty much from the first sniff, I always thought that 1 Million Parfum would get discontinued so quickly, not because this is a bad fragrance or anything, I absolutely love it, but because this is so different, at least to me, from the rest in the line. So it always felt like this was sort of the odd but beautiful one in the line, and that they would discontinue. I mean, we already seen that stuff with beauties like Lucky and Privé. So anyway, a big dose of white florals, and I really mean it. This is a big dose of white florals, and at least to me, a soft kind of sort of a leather. It's a bit ambery as well, a bit sort of a salty. In a way, this is like sunshine, tropical leather in a bottle. Yes, it has a leathery side to it, but to me it's more floral, beautifully ambery, and sort of slightly sweet and salty. Absolutely beautiful, and one I've been reaching for a bit more than the rest. So next up, a fragrance that every time I talk about it, I get at least one saying he absolutely hates it. At least 3 or more saying that it smells like the cheapest, most lemony, citrusy, intense cleaning solution they ever put their nose to. I have periods where I stay away from this, usually shorter ones, and every such period is followed by a craving of it again. This is Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Man, the limited edition, and this is basically a Creed Aventus clone. Is it the perfect clone? No, I don't think there's a perfect clone of Creed Aventus. But this, at least to me, is good enough. It definitely has better performance than the original, and it's a lot cheaper. I know some of you hate it. I know some of you absolutely love hating on it, but I really enjoy the city names, and this is fantastic compliment getter. Now, quite a few of my absolute favorite fragrances have a bit of vetiver in them, but I'm not the biggest fan of those super heavy green kind of scents. With that said, I don't consider this to be such a one. But with that said, Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver is one that I think is fantastic. This is a vetiver I truly enjoy. However, this is not the one I've been reaching for a bit more lately. It's this one right here. This is John Varvatos Artisan XX. To simplify John Varvatos Artisan XX, this, at least to me, is like if you took Grey Vetiver, the vetiver in Grey Vetiver, and made it a bit less sort of green and vetiver-ish, and added a big but not a massive dose of the sort of a citrusy freshness from Artisan, then you basically get this. If you love Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver, yeah, if you love Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver and want a cheaper alternative to it that smells really good. I mean, they are not identical, but this definitely reminds me of Grey Vetiver. Then make sure you check this one out. So it really doesn't matter what part of the year it is. I always have a leather focused fragrance in my rotation, and this is a leather focused fragrance, but this is probably one of the most, at least like top 3 or top 5, most mass appealing, easy to wear leather focused fragrances ever made. This is Salvatore Ferragamo Spicy Leather, and I initially liked it but felt a bit sort of underwhelmed. But this, like you can see, has grown on me so much, and this is one of my current favorites. So the name is Spicy Leather, and this is pretty much spicy leather that's also a bit woody, and to me it has a slight hint of something sort of amber to it as well. But here's the twist, and my sort of favorite part of this. This also has a fantastic aromatic side, which to me at least goes absolutely perfect with its sort of a smooth leather. I think that if you absolutely love the scent of leather and want to add something new to your collection, then this is definitely a good one. I also feel that this is one of the more sort of easier to wear and mass appealing leather scents. So this is actually a pretty good one if you sort of want to get, and this sounds a bit dirty, but sort of get into leather and want what I think is one of the more sort of a mass appealing ones. This from Coach, this is Coach Green, is also one that I liked when I bought it, but it has grown me so much since then. And I really gotta do a Coach comparison, but I do think that out of the ones I have, Coach Green and the Platinum ones are probably 2 of my very favorites. So I love well-made scents that are a mix of woodiness and sort of a citrusy and aromatic freshness. And this is pretty much like that, but with a twist because of its fruitiness. Coach Green has kiwi in it, and I really think it's the kiwi note that gives it its personality and makes it a bit different compared to other sort of a similar scents. The scent itself is really nice. There's one sort of a bad thing about this one though, and that is that the projection is definitely not the best. So this is one I always spray with. So like I said, I always have a leather scent in my rotation, And if Salvatore Ferragamo spicy leather is the one that is easier to wear and more mass appealing, then this Suede Safran from Nishane is not that. So Nishane Suede Safran, to me at least, is quite similar but not the same as Tom Ford's Tuscan leather. So if you know what Tom Ford's Tuscan leather smells like, then you almost know what Suede Safran smells like. But there are some differences, and to me at least, Nishane Suede Safran, while it is intense leather, it's less intense on the leather than Tuscan leather. This to me is intense but smooth and luxurious intense leather, and its smoothness, at least to me, gives it this sort of a sophisticated vibe. This is absolutely fantastic. However, this is probably not something you should even consider buying unless you absolutely love the scent of leather. If you know that you enjoy, let's say, Tom Ford Armor leather or Tuscan leather and want such a fragrance, then this is probably something for you. Otherwise, definitely stay away. Now, I have two more fragrances, and the last one is absolutely epic. This is Zara Sand Desert at Sunset, and this really surprised me on how good it is. Now, if you take a look at this thing right here, you can see that I've used it. Now, I gotta say that unfortunately, I'm not responsible for using that much. This thing is leaking, and I don't like that. With that said, this is a fragrance I've been enjoying a lot lately. This is basically Zara's clone of one of my fragrances for life, Kilian Angel Share. There are definitely some clear similarities, but also some clear differences. To me at least, this is not as super sweet, it's not as sort of woody, and it's definitely not as boozy as Kilian Angel Share. And what makes this a bit different as well is that this has a dose of freshness in the opening. But other than that, this gives me strong Kilian Angel Share vibes for super cheap. Now, if you absolutely love Kilian Angel Share and want probably one of my absolute favorite, most affordable fragrances right now, then this is definitely one to check out. And since this is basically like a lighter and slightly different take on Kilian Angel Share, it's also, at least to me, a bit more sort of versatile. So next up is a fragrance I recently bought. It's my second bottle of it. That's how much I absolutely love it. And here's the thing, at least with me, when you recently buy something that you really enjoy, then it almost automatically becomes your current favorite. To me, it's basically spicy fresh patchouli with a bit of sweetness in the opening to warm and ambery patchouli with a bit of vanilla and a bit of rose. I'm not gonna say that much about Tuxedo. This to me is a masterpiece. I'm gonna link to my review of it above, so please do check it out. So there you go, these are some of my current favorites. Now, I would absolutely love to know if you have any current favorites that you are reaching for a bit more than the rest, so make sure you comment. Like this video, thank you, I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe, make sure you check out the videos over there, and I'll see you in the next one.